Hi, my name is Emily and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to do a almost 3-month update of my experience with my Kobo Libre Colour. I did just release, well, at the time of filming this video, I did just release a video where I did an unboxing of my Kobo Libre Colour. I actually filmed that video on September 12th of 2024. I just took a while to edit it because I did not like the sound quality, but I kind of just had to work with what I had and go from there and just learn and improve. So let's do a quick overview of the features of the Kobo Libre Colour. So the first thing obviously is that it is in color, which is really, really cool. So as you can see, all these book covers are in color. It's really just kind of feels nice and inviting. And what I love about this device is that kind of by adding the color and the other features that I'm going to talk about, it kind of brings back the tactileness of reading to an e-reader, which is really, really cool. So we'll take a look at Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. As you can see on this little mini picture, it does say that it is Jane Austen, but when you click on it, it says it's Charlotte Bronte, which is really funny to me. So you just flip through your books, either using these buttons. Obviously, the up button is back, the down button is forward, and you can just you can also tap the corner of your screen as well. I like the buttons. If you want to write on your screen, you literally just pick up the stylus and get to writing, make your notes. To highlight, you actually need to press down on, I don't know how easily, there's a little button on the stylus and you can kind of see how it's raised right there. You'd press down on that button and that is how you would highlight. To change the colors of the pencil ink, you just click up here, tap the pencil icon, and then you can change the pen size to these 5 different sizes and then any of these 10 different colors. To change the highlight, I actually struggle with this for some reason and I'm not sure why. So I find it best if you want to change the color, you almost have to do it with your finger. And for some reason that highlight option pops up a little bit better. It's clearly user error, like I'm not doing something right, but also, to be completely honest, I'm not really annotating books too much. But you have the choice between yellow, pink, blue, or green. And so let's say we want to make that one yellow. Now, what's really cool is that it also kind of compiles all your annotations and everything together. So to see those, you would just kind of tap at the bottom of the screen. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe tap at the top, because that's kind of like the more recognized thing. And then you would hit this Pages button down at the bottom. And then you can see all your annotations kind of grouped together and everything. So it's kind of cool. I don't really use that feature too often just because I use library books for the most part. And you can't really review those annotations once you've returned the book. So the other thing I want to discuss really quickly is just the variety of cases or accessories that you can purchase for the Kobo Libre Colour. When you buy the e-reader, you only get the e-reader, which I think is pretty standard for things anymore. You can purchase a variety of cases. So this particular case is the notebook case, and what I like about that is that it both has like this magnetic kind of closure, which you probably heard me snapping over and over throughout this entire video, and it also has a magnetic spot for the pencil, which is really nice and keeps it nice and secure. I like the fact that the pencil is towards the inside of the case versus along the edge. It just feels a little bit more protected than other cases that would be similar. The case that I purchased for my Kobo initially is the origami case. I believe this one is $39.99. I forgot to say the price of the notebook case, but it is also $39.99. So these are not cheap cases by any means. They do seem to be well thought out, and the build quality seems to be fairly decent. I do wish this back was plasticky, though. I just would like that a little bit better. Yeah, it's the case that can fold, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I think I discussed that in the last video. You can use it to prop up your device multiple different ways. If you want to have it like this, if you want to do it like that. I don't know if I would ever really use my e-reader in either of these formats. I would just hold it in my hand. So, what is interesting is that the pencil, this is where I naturally want to put the pencil, or stylus, I guess I should say, is in this spot. However, because of the magnets that are used in these flaps to hold them together and the magnet in the pencil, it just does not connect very well. It connects stronger at the bottom than it does at the top. Totally makes sense. I found that the strongest place to put the pencil is actually like about there. That seems to be a little bit more steady. I still wouldn't trust it if this was my only case and I had the stylus and I wanted to throw this in my bag. If I didn't have a dedicated pocket that I was placing my Kobo, I would totally lose the stylus. So in addition to those cases, I actually also bought just the plain clear case for the device. I mean, I think you could get plenty of these cases for way cheaper. I think this was like $30. So it's not inexpensive by any means. I think you can probably get them for like $8. I just wanted the branded one for whatever reason, just because I'm weird. So as you can see, it does have the Rakuten Kobo logo on it. I bought this mainly so that way I could use it in one of those gooseneck reading holder things, and then with the remote. If you wanted to use a page turner remote, I believe the bezel is pretty substantial, I think. So you do have to have this kind of further down, which you would have to change your margins and everything to make it work. So that's what I haven't really utilized it for. This is not a Kobo branded thing. It was just something I actually bought for my Kindle when I was like trying to think of ways to encourage myself to read. Turns out it was not this, but that I actually needed something that integrated with Libby significantly better. The pros of the Kobo Libre Colour is the fact that it is color. It is very cool. It's not as vibrant as what it would be in a print medium, but I really like it. It's really nice to just see that little pop of color. I like how the covers are in color. It's just cool. Yeah, it's not as vibrant as it could be, but we'll get there one day. But in the meantime, this is really cool. I also like the ability to write on the screen and take notes. I've never been a huge annotator of books when I read, but I would like to be, and I would never write in a physical book, so I've written more in this than I have in a physical book, but still not really anything of note. Plus, and this kind of leads into my next point, I mostly read library books on here, so annotating library books is kind of weird because once you return it, you can't go back and look at your annotations, so that's probably also why I haven't really gotten that much into it. What I really, really like about this is the integration with Libby is way better than it is on the Kindle. You can browse through the books on here from your main library, or you can use the Libby app or your computer, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't really do that. I just use the Libby app to browse for books. So another thing that is really cool about the Kobo is that you can have multiple libraries tied to it. So right now I have the Queens Public Library and the Chicago Public Library One thing to note is if you have one library that is like your main library, you would want to hook that up to your Kobo last. It's kind of a tedious process. I will leave a pinned comment to, I think it was a Reddit thread that I found out how to do it. I also find it's way easier to read on a Kobo. Obviously Kindle is easy to read on too. I just happen to like reading on my Kobo way more than I liked reading on my Kindle. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit more comfortable of a device with this larger lip or what. I'm not sure. I just like it significantly more. Additionally, I read significantly more on my Kobo. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read a ton in November. It was a busier month for me between just work and holiday stuff and just personal stuff going on. I did not read as much as I typically had been in previous months. But September and October, I was reading like 3 to 5 books a week. So, and I was probably, I think all of the year prior, from January to September, I probably read 3 to 5 books, so I would say it definitely improved my reading. I think some of that is obviously new device fun, but I've been itching to read, and I have a couple books that I've got going on in the background in my life right now. My goal is to cook through them this weekend. Do you say that? Do you say cook through books? I don't know. I just did, so maybe that's our thing. I really, really like it. If you have the funds, if you have been wanting to read, I highly recommend, or read more, I highly recommend getting a Kobo. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Kobo Color. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a Kobo. You can just get an e-reader of some type. But, I mean, personally, I am always a fan of buy the best thing that you can. So, yeah, you could get a cheaper e-reader for $80, but I don't know. They also last a long time, I find, so like it's worth it. Your uses per book, per week, whatever, if you were to break that cost out, you'd surpass it really quickly. So the cons of this would be the price. I mean, it's definitely not a cheap thing to get started with. I mean, I guess it is a more expensive upfront cost, and then you can read books for free from the library easily, so that's pretty cool. But the Kobo itself was $219. The pencil on its own is $69.99. This case is $30. This case is $40. This clear case was $30. The other con, I would say, is that the screen isn't as crisp. I think eventually technology will get there, but for right now, it's totally fine. I mean, I think you already know, because I've already said it a million times. I think this is totally worth it. It has been worth it for me. Honestly, I'm excited to finish filming this so I can finish reading my book. I'm like, haven't been able to read because I've been really busy with work and life and everything, and I want to get to reading, but I also wanted to film this to do an update because unboxings are cool, but you also kind of need to see the result of that unboxing. Yeah, if you have the funds, if you want to save up for this, I think you definitely should if you feel like it would help you read. I don't know how good this video is. I don't even know if this will publish this, but I just wanted to share my Kobo thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe if you like this video. Let me know. I think, yeah, I think that's it for now.